Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all having a good Monday. And welcome to the review of yesterday's game, Arsenal v Leicester. And listen, it's not going to make great dissecting this game, but we'll do our best. Joining me this afternoon, we have Nitesh. How you doing, Nitesh?
Yeah, well, yesterday's game wasn't great, but I had something to laugh about. Mesut Ozil trolling himself, like making a laughing stock out of himself on Twitter, was one of the better things to do. And the other one, maybe FPL, because I had a good game week. So all good there. With respect to Arsenal, I think we are all used to it by now. It's gonna be the same. We are used to it by now. That's it.
Yeah, and it is. It is. We are going to. We're going to. I don't know. The game yesterday was just. I have to say, and I'm going to be brutally honest, right? And I'm gonna say this, and I'm going to lay it all out right now. Is that I am starting to doubt Arteta, and I'm going to be honest. And a lot of people are going to be like, "Whoa," because everybody knows that I've been backing him, and I still am backing him, but there's just a question mark, and it's a small question mark, and there was a question mark last week, but this question mark seems to be getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So I am backing him, but there's doubt creeping into that as well. And I'm going to be, I'm not, I'm just, yeah, that's all I can say really. But I am starting to, to doubt him. And I know it's, a lot of people will say it's too early, but you have to question certain things that he's doing. You have to question certain tactics. You have to question certain decisions. And it's, I don't know what your take on it is, Nitesh, but we've got to ask those questions, haven't we?
See, the problem has always been the team and the players. And big up to everyone who's watching before we go ahead. Yeah. So I was just saying the problem has always been the team and the players. If you look right now, yesterday Arteta's tactics were not too wrong. And I don't think I have an issue with the way the team was set up. More or less 99% of it was all perfect. Apart from maybe Aubameyang playing on the right and then switching back to the left, that is something that could be argued on Aubameyang's place where he should play. But apart from that, if you saw, the team was perfectly set up yesterday. We dominated the first half. We did well in the second half, but we did not finish off our any chances, which has always been the problem. So I don't think Arteta gets the blame. I will again go back to the Emery point. I will again say that I don't think it was the problem that Emery was solely the manager's problem. I mean, the problem was not entirely just the manager. We don't have creative players. We don't have creative midfielders. Our attackers are now becoming the problem. People say that the defense looks solid. Arteta has made it more solid. I think Gabriel coming in has made it more solid. Last season, yes, Arteta did do something good when that 3-4-3 was being used, but it was more about the formation than just the manager. It was a combination of both. Unai Emery couldn't find that combination. Unfortunately, he couldn't find that formation. That was the problem. But overall, if you see, Arteta has done nothing super special or you can say brilliant with the squad. He did manage to get them to play a few games well in the FA Cup. We won the FA Cup. We lost last season to Aston Villa. We lost some of the other games as well. We lost to Manchester City. We've done the same. We lost to Manchester City. We lost to Leicester. We lost to Liverpool. So there hasn't been too much of an improvement, but he managed to win some good games in the FA Cup, and that is why we got a trophy. But more or less, it's all going to be the same. We don't have creative players. We don't have that. Only our defense has been strengthened to an extent because of the signing of Gabriel. That's it.
Yeah. Big up to everybody watching as well, all the regulars on YouTube. Also, big up to all the people watching on Periscope and Twitter as well. So yeah. Listen, it's one of them things, isn't it? We have to, I get what you're saying, but I just, the players have to take some responsibility. And I did like the formation yesterday. That the only downside that I didn't like was the flat three in midfield. I don't like that. You've got Partey, Xhaka, and Ceballos, and they're all flat across the midfield. Who's breaking forward in that midfield from there to kind of be the link between the front three? I don't understand it. I don't get why you would do that, especially when Leicester essentially had a flat back five and then a five in midfield. So they essentially just literally bombed everybody behind the ball just to frustrate us and hit us on the counter.
See,
and also the other thing as well, why, and this is listen, this is you have to ask this as well. Why is Lacazette had chance after chance and he didn't do nothing? And yet when he takes Lacazette off, he plays Aubameyang on the right, and why not down the centre? What is the issue with Aubameyang going down the centre? Why can't we try that? I don't get this. I don't get this putting him out on the wing. Now I know he's scored a lot of his goals from the wing and he's done well, but I just feel that sometimes in certain games it's a weakness to put him out there on the wing. And he looked frustrated as well. When he come off, he looked massively pissed off, because what happens is you're putting him out on the left, and because we've got no creativity, because we lack that, he's not getting the service. So he's just going to stand there and a lot of the games are just passing him by because he's getting no creativity. And yet Lacazette again gets that main striker role. He's again poor. He's lost loads of pace as well. He wasn't pacey to start with, but he's just lost a bit, Lacazette. And I just listen. You have to question certain things. You have to question. And the other thing is as well, right? When David Luiz got injured, and let's say this as well, David Luiz was probably the only person who was creating stuff for us, and he's a central defender. Work that one out. But when he went off, we put on Mustafi, who's just come back from injury. But yet you've got somebody like a Saliba, who's obviously match fit, and yet can't get a look in. So it's just questions like that have to be asked.
See, I don't agree with the Lacazette part. There are 2 to 3 reasons. One, Lacazette has to start because of the fact that he is the only striker that Arsenal has who can actually head the ball. Even though he missed his chance yesterday, that was the only down that he had from yesterday's game. Overall, he was drawing fouls, he was holding the ball, he was linking up. If you see Aubameyang did none of that. If you see Saka was being a bit more marked, and he was, even though he did dribble a few times, but he was not able to get that free space that he had against Manchester City. The other thing was, apart from that, even if you saw, Saka was injured towards the end, and Lacazette played the entire 90 minutes because of that. Probably if Saka wasn't injured, maybe they would have tried a different tactic. But the way Tierney puts crosses into the box, Aubameyang cannot be heading those. He does not have the aerial capability. He cannot head those balls into the back of the net. He got one header yesterday from Kieran Tierney on his head, which it was a bit, you can say, he had to bend back and convert it into a good header. But unfortunately, he was not able to do anything with it. He couldn't even divert it, deflect it towards the goal. So he's not a he's heading is not his strongest capability, you can say, or his strongest plus point. So unfortunately, Arteta knows that Tierney will be giving in some great crosses, and Aubameyang does not have the capability to be at the center of the attack and head them in, or he does not have the capability of troubling the defender and fighting for that ball. He does not have the physicality to hold the ball at the center and try to take a shot. He does not have all those attributes. So when Kieran Tierney is playing on the left and he's putting those crosses in all day long, he does not have the, you can say, the capacity to convert those into goals. The other thing, if you see, Lacazette was drawing fouls as well. I remember one free kick was taken by Danny Ceballos. I think another one was possibly set up for David Luiz. I think there were two free kicks at the most in the game. One was a very long one, which they tried to play out, like convert it into a chance. And Danny Ceballos one, I think he tried to take some kind of a shot, or that was also like a conversion, which they tried to convert into a set piece. Unfortunately, we don't have a good set piece taker. When we had Alexis Sanchez, I said this in the Twitter chat as well. When we had Alexis Sanchez, people used to draw fouls onto them towards the opposition box. And then we used to get free kicks, which Sanchez used to take, which Ozil used to take, these guys used to take. Sorry. One
Yeah.
was one was from Ceballos, the other one was from Xhaka, not David Luiz, Xhaka. So these guys do not have the capability of actually taking any good quality free kicks. When Lacazette is also drawing fouls, the free kicks go to waste. If you saw Ceballos take a corner, his corners were awful. He should be removed from that duty. Second thing, free kicks. Thomas Partey needs to start taking free kicks. That guy can take some good free kicks. We need Thomas Partey on free kicks now. These guys are not capable of taking free kicks. I don't care whether it is a timid Thomas Partey shot. It's going to be way better than what Lacazette, than what Xhaka is doing, or what maybe Ceballos will do. Apart from that, we have Aubameyang, we have Lacazette. These guys also take free kicks, corners. I want Saka to be taking all corners. Ceballos is inconsistent. He can play the short corner, but he can't play the long corners. Yesterday was actually a game for well built for Ceballos to take charge, but he was so poor that I felt like he should be sent back to Real Madrid halfway through that game.
Yeah, and yeah, big up everybody, Steve, Melina, Simpy, everybody else. You know, big up all you guys. Remember, guys, there's a banner going across the bottom of your screen. Just keep smashing the like button. Keep subscribing, and yeah, my other Facebook and Twitter's on there as well. So yeah, do all that, guys. You know, please, the likes are so important. I feel with I feel with certain things as well, and you know, I just feel I don't want to get too carried away with the doubts and stuff, but I have to, you know, like, I have got to be honest that they are like, we're too you know, we've seen something seems to have changed. So
Martinez.
not even Martinez, right? Because okay, you know, you could you know, you can question that as well. But when Arteta first come in, we seem to be free flowing. You know, like, you know, I remember the first game against Chelsea. You know, you saw something and you were like, hang on a second. You know, we're actually doing something here. You know, like, we're actually, you know, under Emery, we were too conservative, right? We were too defensive, even though we weren't defensive. We were too negative. We weren't creating enough. We weren't expressive enough on the pitch. And then Arteta comes in, and you know, we pick up and we start being creative and stuff. And I just feel like I have to be honest, I feel like we're going back to the Unai Emery days, because we've gone back to being this. We're not, you know, not creating anything, so negative, so flat. You know, okay, you know, defensively we've tightened up a bit, but again, we just seem to be so flat and so, you know, so lacking creativity, and it's kind of like we're going back to the Emery days. Even though I know the players are you know, are fully behind Arteta, but it just feels like that we've gone back there again. And I don't understand it. These players, right? For all my doubts on Arteta, and you know, and they are there as well. And they weren't Nitesh, right? They weren't there after the Man City game, but little things, and especially like yesterday, little things are like I say, they're just starting to creep in. I'm not Arteta out. I'm nowhere near Arteta out, but I am edging slowly in that direction, and there's a long way to go for that. A lot of people might. There's a long way to go for that, but I'm heading in that direction rather than the other direction, and and it's a gradual thing. It's not you know, it's not just the flick of a switch like that, because you guys know that I back Arteta, but there's little question marks that are starting to appear in my mind when it comes to consider it, you know, to sort of considering it. There's little question marks, and I'm prepared to give him till the end of the season, but things have got to pick up. Now, I want to flip that and say that the players do need to take more responsibility, because let me tell you something, right? Pepe was absolutely dreadful yesterday. Lacazette was dreadful. Now, I know, you know, Arteta keeps picking him, and again, that's one of the question marks that I have. But these players need to take some responsibility. These players need to actually, you know, start performing. But then on the flip side of that as well, Arteta needs to drop them if they're not performing, and I feel like he's not doing that at the moment.
In fact, it is the opposite. He has dropped them when they were performing. He dropped Lacazette when he was scoring, even though he wasn't doing that great, but he was scoring goals. He was the only one scoring. Aubameyang is untouchable. That is the problem. How is Aubameyang untouchable? If he's not able to create anything, he's looking tired, he's looking overplayed. Bring him on as a super sub. I said this the other day. He can be used as a super sub as well. Start the game with maybe Pepe, start with Lacazette, and start with maybe Willian or Nketiah or someone else, 3 players. Then play Saka maybe, and then bring in Aubameyang as a super sub. Why is Aubameyang untouchable? I am not saying get rid of him from the squad like Ozil, but you utilize him in a different way. When every team knows that Aubameyang is the one target man that Arsenal has, and he's not too much of a dribbler, and they surround him with 2 players, the best and simple thing is to do is what Emery did successfully. Another thing, why this team is looking like Emery's team, it's because most of the team is like Emery's, the same team. The starting lineup is it was there under Emery. So there hasn't been too much change, apart from Thomas Partey, who has come in, and apart from Gabriel, who are the 2 new players. Most of these players were there under Emery as well. So there isn't too much change. Yes, Tierney was maybe injured in and out of the team, but most of this team is the same team that Emery was playing. The problem was, remember one thing, what fans who do not like Unai Emery at Arsenal or do not like his phase at Arsenal need to remember one thing. There was no such problem. This lack of creativity was not a problem till Aaron Ramsey was playing. The day Aaron Ramsey got injured, and after that he departed, all these creativities, we have lack of creativity, we don't have creativity in midfield, we don't have creativity up front, everything, all this entire creativity agenda or topic or whatever you want to say started the day Aaron Ramsey got injured. Till Aaron Ramsey was playing under Unai Emery, we were scoring goals. We were not the perfect defense. We were setting up a bit defensively in his first season, but that was his first season. And yes, there could be a few experiments here and there, but till Aaron Ramsey was in the team, you wouldn't hear anyone say that no, this team cannot create. Even Mesut Ozil was getting into the squad and he was linking up with Aaron Ramsey and other things. So when we lost Aaron Ramsey, there was no replacement. We did not replace Aaron Ramsey, and that problem has now continued still with Arteta. Fans were hoping that let's try to get OR. Maybe Willian can try to help solve that problem. But Willian, it does not have the same pace that he had at Chelsea. And ever since that point of time, that Willian has come to Arsenal, he played one good game, but he's not been able to run. His legs have not been able to run like he has been running at Chelsea. And just go and watch the tapes since Aaron Ramsey has been injured. The fan base is just chanting one thing: we do not have enough creativity. We have creativity problems. Because when your one creative midfielder who was linking up the play between the defense and the midfield gets injured, and you do not have capable enough replacements or signings, this problem will continue to happen. It's not Arteta's problem. It's not Unai Emery's problem. It's the club's problem, who have not replaced your outgoing player properly. He was a goal scorer. He was the creative player. He was the link up. He could also do defensive work, and he had a great work rate. You have not been able to replace him, and that is the club's problem, not the manager's problem. I said it with Unai Emery. He tried to play Torreira there, which backfired, and he got trolled for it. Now Arteta will have to try to play some other player like El Neni there. Ceballos didn't work out yesterday. Hopefully Ceballos can improve. Otherwise, Arteta will keep having this problem, and then he will try to experiment as well.
Yeah, the problem is as well, though, Nitesh, we have actually got a creative player, and I'm not talking about Mesut Ozil. I'm talking about we've got Emil Smith-Rowe, who's back from injury, so why not put him in there? You know, I know he's young and he's still developing, and Arteta rates him. All I'm hearing is, yeah, Arteta really rates Smith-Rowe. Well, if you rate him, put him in the team. Put him in and see what he can do, because he can't do any worse. Let's be, than what these players are doing at the moment. Put him in, and I'm guarantee you he'll probably, he'll probably take a little while to bed in, but you can do that, or you can just, I just get the feeling that Arteta doesn't. I just get the feeling that Arteta doesn't really want to experiment in the right way. I feel like he's trying all this and he's changing, changing the formation, and I like the formation, but I just feel certain decisions that he's making, and we can keep going on about Aaron Ramsey and the fact that we sold him. Listen, this happened.
No, replace him. We haven't replaced him properly.
But I do believe, I do believe that they wanted to replace him, in the summer with getting OR and all that. But again, where's OR going to fit into this team? Like he'll come in, but what is Arteta going to put him in that deep lying midfield? Because I don't get why they had the three across Partey, Xhaka, and Ceballos were all on the line of that three. One of them should have been forward. I don't get why they're all the flat three. Do you know what I mean? I don't get that. I don't understand what the process is behind that.
No, that is the thing. I think everyone was expecting Dani Ceballos to be pushing forward and Thomas Partey to be creating some play as well. But
to be honest, I would have preferred Partey pushing forward, because we've seen him that he can get back and defend. So I would have had Xhaka and Ceballos do the job that they do and have Partey further forward, because he can be the anchor. He can defend when's necessary, but also he can ball carry to support the front three. That's what I would have done. I would have had Xhaka and Ceballos behind him, because listen, we know that Xhaka doesn't really create much either, but Partey, we know he's not just a defensive midfielder. He can go box to box, so it makes more sense to have Xhaka and Ceballos as the holding pair, and then Partey in front of them who can protect them, but then he can also create.
See, the thing is, I'll tell you one thing. I was very happy when I saw the formation at the start. Why? Because I thought Thomas Partey was playing behind Aubameyang, and he would create chances for Aubameyang, and Aubameyang would take shots and try to score. But then suddenly Arteta switched Aubameyang to the right and he put Saka on the left. Saka does not defend anymore. He plays like a free-flowing winger. He's given all the creative freedom and he does not defend anymore. So Thomas Partey was exposed on that side and he had to cope with the defensive side of things. On the other side, Ceballos was not able to push forward because again, when on the right hand side you're playing with Aubameyang, whom you're not used to playing with, that is again a mismatch. And so that I was happy about when I saw the formation, but when it actually started the game, I was disappointed. Like, what has happened here? He had such a good formation in place and he has messed it up. Second thing, first half, we won tactically. Why? Because even though you may say that our three midfielders were flat, Leicester gave
Yeah.
David Luiz so much space that he could toy around with their defense. Those long balls, he could do that all day long. If he was not injured, we won that first half. We dominated Leicester in every way, apart from the fact that we did not have the final creativity and the goal that we needed. But we dominated it. If suppose David Luiz did not go off injured, till the time maybe that Jamie Vardy would have come onto the pitch, we would have still been dominating the game. Only at the point where Jamie Vardy came into the game and he could have probably troubled David Luiz would have been the point of concern. But if you see tactically, first half, we dominated that first half. We had 11 attempts on goal. Unfortunately, these guys, when they switch on defensively, they switch off offensively. When they play a decent game in midfield, their defense and attack is shit. This is the problem. They play in parts. I said this, I wrote an article about this, that Arsenal Football Club right now, the team plays in parts. They play in halves. They play one good half, they play a brilliant half, they play a second crap half. They play a crap first half, then they play a brilliant second half. So they keep playing in parts and they love to disappear. What is Arsenal's favorite move? What is Arsenal's favorite tactic? We love to disappear. Mesut Ozil used to disappear. Aubameyang disappears. Lacazette disappears when he has to finish. Willian disappears now because no, okay, let's leave him out of it. Granit Xhaka disappears when he's supposed to do something. Mustafi comes back into the team. If you saw that video, Gabriel is telling Mustafi, track back, come towards the center. He's pointing in that direction where Jamie Vardy is running. That idiot who's the luckiest moron on the planet to win a World Cup, does not track back. Jamie Vardy gets all the free space in the world. You don't expect Granit Xhaka with his pace to even reach there, so forget him. But Mustafi does not track back. Vardy gets a free header, 1-0 to Leicester City, game over. As simple as that. That was about that, and it was expected. Everyone knew as soon as Jamie Vardy is coming on, he's going to come on, he's going to score a goal. Plus, the David Luiz factor also helped that.
Yeah. It's just so frustrating. You know, it really is frustrating, and I do feel that you know, it was a missed opportunity yesterday. Again, another missed opportunity. You know, and it's Arteta's got to do something about this creativity. I know we haven't got you know, listen, we're not going to change that. So he's got to do something with the players he has.
I will just say one more thing. I am happy that we lost to Leicester today, because after all the trolling yesterday, Mustafi has today denied he's rejected the Arsenal contract, the new Arsenal contract. It could be part of the fact that he was probably trolled yesterday mercilessly all over social media, and I am happy that he has denied, or he has rejected the new Arsenal contract. Could be with respect to yesterday's game and yesterday's loss and the way he was crap. And I'm happy with the fact that he will be now going away. I don't give a damn now. He should be gone from Arsenal. If there was an option of taking back that World Cup gold medal from him, I would have, based on his career at Arsenal, I would have exercised that and probably taken back that World Cup gold medal from him that he must have received for winning the World Cup with Germany. He's that damn bad. He got lucky. Marco Reus was injured and he was included in that World Cup winning squad. But if there was such an option, that based on your club performances, if you have been so bad, there is an option to take back that World Cup winners medal, I would have done that as an Arsenal fan. He does not deserve it.
I will say that as well, though. I'm not saying that Mustafi was right, but he should never have been put on the pitch just coming back from injury, especially when we've got somebody like Saliba who could easily do a job there. And you look at the opposite number, Saliba's partner who's now at Leicester. You see how well he done. Do you know what I mean? He was absolutely immense for Leicester yesterday. But yeah, I don't know. Decisions. Arteta's got to start making the right decisions because at the moment he is making the wrong decisions, and also these players need a bit more fire in their belly. Like he needs to actually, like when he first come in, he got a tune out of these players, and he can get a tune out of them. We know that because he's done it. Listen, we done it in the FA Cup semi-final against Man City, so he can get a tune out of these players. And I'm not going to talk about the Premier League game against Liverpool or the Community Shield because listen, it is what it is. It's the season was done, but he done it. He got a tune out of those players, so he can do it, and that was without the likes of Partey and Gabriel. So he can do it. He just needs to, and we have got creative players who can do a job. Okay, they might not be the ideal creative players you want, and we have got creative players who can do a job. I'm not talking about Mesut Ozil. I'm talking, we have got, like I say, Smith Rowe can do a job. You could probably even put, you could probably put Pepe there. Because I'll tell you something now, Pepe on the wings, it ain't working. Like he's not working. Let's be honest, right? He always tries to cut in, whether he's on the left or the right. He always tries to cut in. So why not just fucking put him in that role, that anchor, from midfield. He always tries to cut in when he's on the wing, so you might as well just try and put him there.
I have said that from such a long time that he should play in midfield, or Willian should play in midfield rather. He can carry the ball. He was doing it for Chelsea. Another thing I'll just say with respect to Mustafi, it doesn't matter whether Mustafi was supposed to be there or not. He was match fit. He was fit to go from, I think, a couple of games as well. He was there. I think I'm not sure about the Europa League squad. I think he was there as well. But the thing is, it doesn't matter whether he was supposed to be there or not. Mustafi should be serious. This is a serious game. It's not a joke. We're not having fun here. We're not playing in the championship. If you know what would have happened if Mustafi put in such a performance for Germany, he would have been destroyed, decimated by the German media. They would have made trolls and jokes out of him. We would have had the Mustafi circus going on Twitter, like Arsenal fans possibly did yesterday, and he would have never seen a German shirt again. But the problem is, Arsenal did not sell him in the summer. Arsenal have retained him because of what performances he put in last summer. And another thing, Arteta needs to understand, this team is not good enough to play the 4-3-3 or any other formation apart from a 3-5-2. This team is not good enough. Even with Thomas Partey coming in, he is not going to immediately produce miracles. You need to stick to the 3-5-2. Even though it may not give you too much creativity, but this team is anyways not going to create unless you have a creative midfielder. At least the defense and the midfield, it strengthens the midfield a bit more. Those four in the midfield. These three in the midfield, it does not work. Like yesterday, we have seen all three have been confused. Like, what do I do? What is my role? What's happening here? I am not able to handle this shit. And at the end, we did not do anything at all. Even against Manchester City, unfortunately, we could have created more. But that energy is not there in the team.
Yeah. Do you know what I would do as well, right? I know it's massive. It's not ever going to happen. But you've got Partey and Xhaka. Obviously, they ain't the obviously Partey is levels above Xhaka, and we lack creativity. It's just bloody just do a 4-2-4. Do you know what I mean? Just literally overload the forwards just to fucking compensate. Do you know what I mean? Like, because it is mad. It is mad how. But again, these players actually, the players of our quality, the players of quality, sorry, like Aubameyang and that, need to be utilised in the right way. And at the moment, he's not. Lacazette, right? Lacazette, like, and I know what the other week I sort of said, why is Lacazette being dropped? Because, and then William was playing in the false nine. But see, Lacazette, right? He needs about 900 chances to score 1 or 2, whereas Aubameyang, 9 times out of 10, if he had the chance, if he was in Lacazette's position and had the amount of chances that Lacazette had, your odds on that he's going to take at least 1 or 2 or even 3 of those chances.
See, the thing is, that is the thing. The opposition teams are not stupid that they will leave Aubameyang to have free chances. They team up against Aubameyang and they crowd him for space. That is always going to happen. So we need to understand that Lacazette, when he was scoring, he was not getting the best. He was not producing the best gameplay of all time. He's not Thierry Henry or some of our creative players, but he was scoring goals. And we need to give him that chance. At that point of time, Arteta should have pushed to improve his overall play. He was holding up is the best in the team right now. I will again say this. I said this yesterday. He was the best forward in the team yesterday. Now the thing is, but the problem is he missed that one header, which should have been an easy conversion, and he has become a soft target because of that. Unfortunately, when he is earning free kicks, when he is challenging players, if you remember, he had that collision, the physical collision with Fofana, the guy who was Saliba's partner, Fofana. He collided with him, and the defender came out worse with that challenge. No one has that kind of physicality in our team, apart from maybe now a bit of Thomas Partey and maybe to an extent in Gabriel. There is no physical presence in the team up front. Lacazette brings that, but he is not as clinical as Aubameyang. We know that. But the thing is that we need to create more. Tell me one thing, Daniel. Did you see anything being created by Aubameyang apart from that one cross which Bellerin almost converted in the entire second half or even in the first half? Did Aubameyang create anything at all for you?
No, he didn't. But having said that, he's not a creative player. He's a goal scorer. So we need to play to his strengths.
Not that kind of creativity. I mean to say just a 1-2 pass or just a simple pass, which can
it's hard to create when you're out there on the left and you're getting next to no service. At least in the centre, like if he was the centre forward, look at the amount of chances. Like I said, look at the amount of chances that Lacazette had. If Aubameyang was in that position with those chances, we would not be talking about a defeat. I can tell you that now. And I know Aubameyang has off days and occasionally he won't score. But I saw a worrying thing. And I can't remember where I saw it, but this is the longest that Aubameyang has gone without a goal since 2014 when he played for Borussia Dortmund.
The guy is saturated, as simple as that. It happened to Giroud.
Let's just let that sink in for a little bit. Big up Claude in the chat. He said it's depressing, boys. It's not great, is it? Let's be honest. It is not great. It's not what we all expected. It's not what we all want. And it's, like I said at the top of this stream, question marks are there with Arteta, and and I'm not saying that he's entirely to blame, but you've got to set up better tactics. And do you know what makes it really frustrating is that Arteta has got a football brain. It's clear to see. Anybody who disagrees with that, you know, but he just seems to be making the wrong decisions. You know, he seems to be making the wrong decision. Now, I don't know whether it's because he hasn't got the players to to fit what he wants to do. I don't know whether it's just a case of, you know, the fact that he's inexperienced. You know, that obviously has a bit to do with it. But or whether it's just the players not helping him out in terms of, you know, putting in a shift. Because I actually do feel, like, I'm going to be honest, like I said earlier, I do feel that we're going back to the Emery performances. You know, with this constantly conservative performances. You know, and it's I just don't know where we listen. I'm not, you know, it'd be so easy to change. You know, listen, the manager ain't going to be changed. You know, it's you know, and nor do I want him to be changed. I just want him to make the right decisions.
See, I'll again add to that one thing. This similar team, a weaker team than this, plus Aaron Ramsey, Emery got 22 unbeaten streak, fluke or whatever you can call it. He got 22 unbeaten streak. Does Arteta have it to get 22 unbeaten games? No, he can't, because other teams have also strengthened now. And even though he has gotten some players, the problem was the creative midfielder. Aaron Ramsey was a creative midfielder and a goal scorer, which we have completely failed to replace, whom we have completely failed to replace. And even now, when we wanted to get OR, we haven't been able to. Forget OR. I'll tell you another problem with Arsenal Football Club. We had two targets with respect to midfielders, two main targets, Partey or OR. The club goes completely blind. If they don't get Partey, they don't get anyone. If they don't get OR, they don't get anyone. There are so many other players, creative midfielders in the market. If OR is costly for you, if Partey is costly for you, you have other alternatives. Get a Doucouré, get a James Rodriguez, get a Coutinho on loan, get someone. They don't see, they see it as black and white. They see we are getting Thomas Partey, that's great. We're not getting him, then we don't get anyone at all. They did not go for anyone. They did not go for Coutinho when they had the choice. They could have gone for a Coutinho loan. They did not go for him. They had other options. They had the guy from the striker from Celtic. They did not go for an additional striker. They did not go for Edward. They did not go for the other guy. I forgot the name from Sporting. There was another midfielder who was, I think, set to be backup for OR. But they did not go for those guys. They are like black and white. Either we get this guy or we don't get anyone at all. Either we get that guy or we don't get anyone at all. They don't go for a third option or a second option. They wanted to go for Zaha, but they went for Pepe. And why they went for Pepe? Because he is younger. And now we are still regretting that decision. That 70 million gone down the drain when the manager said, I want Pepe. I don't want Pepe, I want Zaha. They still go with whatever choices they wanted. I know that is the old regime, but unfortunately, Arsenal still buys players in black and white. They either buy this player or they don't buy at all. They either buy that player or they don't buy at all. They wanted Gabriel, they got Gabriel. They wanted Saliba, they got Saliba. But when they wanted Thomas Partey, if suppose Thomas Partey would have not come, which it seemed till the last day, they would have not bought anyone. They would have told the club, they would have told Arteta, you need to play with whatever shit you have. You have to play with this team. Do whatever you can, the best out of it. If they did not get OR, they did not look at any other player. They said, okay, we're not getting OR. Okay, we are happy with whatever we have. We will continue this season with it. You need to fill those voids, and that is where Spurs have done well this season. You may fans may not like them, Arsenal fans may not like Tottenham, but they have filled all their voids. They have not bothered whether this player wants to come to Spurs or not. They got Doherty, who was an Arsenal fan. They got Regulin, who's a very good quality player, who was on the verge of signing for Manchester United. They just got the right players and have filled them in. I'm not saying that they will finish above us. That is a long way. There is a long way to go, but they have filled their voids really well, which Arsenal Football Club does not seem to do at all.
Jay Shahid's asking, would you bring back Ozil?
If that happens, it's Emery all over again. Arteta getting pressurized from the fans, no creativity in midfield. He bringing back Ozil. This is all over Emery again. Emery SK.
Yeah, Claude said Aubameyang was shocking, and the other thing as well, right? And I get your point on Özil, and I agree with you, but all while, you know, we're not creating anything. Obviously, that question is going to remain. Obviously, if he dropped him and, you know, we were creating stuff, you know, a lot of people would, it'd be easier to justify. But I listen. I personally don't think bringing back Özil is the answer. I personally don't think that's ever going to happen. I think he's played his last game for Arsenal.
Last season it was more of Emery versus Ozil. Last and the season before that, it was more of Emery versus Ozil. Now it is Arsenal versus Ozil. It's not gonna happen. He's not gonna come back because it's gonna be Arsenal pride versus Ozil now. It's not gonna be Emery versus manager versus player. It's club versus player now with the things that he has been doing. So Ozil's career at Arsenal is over.
Yeah, I don't know where. I honestly don't know. You know, I have to be honest, right? I am completely worried for the game against Man United. You know that I listen. We are going to struggle, and we're probably going to get beaten. Do you know what? Right, in a month where we could have shown what we could do, and we're just failing. Let's be honest. We are failing. We failed against Man City. We failed against Leicester, and we're going to fail at Old Trafford.
I think Daniel, your light has gone out completely. I mean, it's dark.
Is it gone out? Give me read out some of the chats, and I'll just go and turn it on.
Yeah, sure. And I'll quickly go from the bottom. Steve was saying that Zaha wasn't much cheaper, and he's not at all that either. See, he wasn't cheaper. He was almost at the same price. The only thing was that Arsenal would have had to pay like more money up front. But the thing is, at least Zaha wasn't a player who was lost in the Premier League. Pepe looks like he's that lost dog who's away from home. You must have seen those movies, Hollywood movies, where there is a dog who runs away from home and he's lost and he's looking for his owner. Pepe looks like that. I'm just giving an analogy. He looks like that lost dog who's looking for his owner when he's playing on the pitch for Arsenal. He doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know which league he is in anymore. He doesn't have that space, and he looks like that. He looks completely lost at Arsenal. I don't care even if we get 30-40 million for a resale for Pepe, I would take it. I would take the loss, but I don't want that guy playing for Arsenal. We should probably do a video on 3 Arsenal players that do not deserve an Arsenal shirt after that game.
Yeah, I just don't get it. I honestly don't know. You know, we'll probably go and do all right in the Europa League. You know, because we're playing shit teams, but in terms of the game against United, I'm not confident. And do you know what? The only thing that's saving us at the moment is that the league is so open. You know, you look at the points tally of that our league is so open. If teams were more consistent around us, we would be in absolutely massive amounts of shit. But you know, because everybody else is dropping points, it's not just us. You know, everybody at the big teams is dropping points. Nobody's really capitalizing on other teams' errors. You know, like we could have. Do you know, if we'd have won yesterday, we would have gone up, I think, a point behind Everton or something stupid like that. Because I think we're like 4 points off them, so we could have gone a point behind them.
And
that's what I'm saying. That's the only thing that's saving us at the moment. But eventually that's going to change. And I do feel this as well. And I have to make this as well. Part of the reason why these players are getting away with underperforming, and I was talking to Claude about this in the stream yesterday, is that there's no fans to get on their back in the stadium. There's no one to sort of give them that little burst of energy, and when they make mistakes, that it's accepted. But if there was a stadium full of fans there, it'd be completely different. There'd be more pressure, be more intense, and I do feel that that's why, you know, we are where we are, and that's why these players are allowed to get away with these mistakes.
See, I don't think so. I think we this transition phase that we have right now, it's better that there are no fans, because fans would be booing the entire team. I get that feeling. Fans would boo the team if they were there, based on what happened against Manchester City or yesterday as well. And I am saying that that wouldn't be good for Arsenal overall as a club. So I am fine with the fact that there are no fans there right now. But having said that, these players need to take it seriously. Mustafi yesterday is the best example of what is wrong with Arsenal. The way he was trolling, the way Zaka was trolling when Vardy went and scored that goal. And how many fans channel would have said that Vardy is coming in now? Now is the time when Leicester is going to score. But what Arteta did not bring in Niles. I don't know what is wrong with him. I don't know why he dropped El Neni when El Neni was playing well. He played really well in that game in the Europa League. He was dropped yesterday. I don't know why he does not play Niles when he wanted to retain Niles, and he was not ready to sell Niles when we could have gotten OR. If you want to retain Niles, that means you want to play him somewhere. Then play him. Then bring him on. Then use him. He's not using Niles at all. The guy who helped him win the FA Cup, that player is not getting a chance in an Arsenal shirt. Whereas other players like Zaka, who do not deserve that Arsenal shirt, according to me, are playing game in and game out. Yesterday, it should have been simple. It should have been Partey at the center, at the base of the midfield, protecting the defense and playing those through balls or long balls, which he can, with El Neni and Ceballos on either side. Zaka shouldn't have made the cut. He should have been on the bench. That should have been number one. Second thing, Niles should have squeezed in. Sorry, Niles should have come in at the point when we saw that Saka is injured. If Saka was injured and he did not have an option, and he wanted to continue playing Ceballos, he should have pushed Ceballos towards a forward position and probably slotted in Niles in place of where you can see that Ceballos was playing. He could have switched those things, and there could have been a change made. And according to for some reason Google, they were playing a 3-4-3 yesterday with Zaka playing as the left back. Now I don't understand that, whether what was the combination of play that actually was being utilized yesterday. It was a 3-4-3 which Google is suggesting, with Zaka playing left back. Why will Zaka be played there when you have a very capable defender in the form of Niles, who can definitely defend at both? He has been playing at right back as well. He has been playing at right wing back, left wing back, every defensive position possible. With Tierney coming back, if Tierney goes back, Niles comes forward. If Niles goes back, Tierney comes forward. They both slot in for each other. Instead, you want to stick to Zaka. I don't understand the logic there. Some of his selections are just out of the world, and he is, again, as I said, becoming Emery SK. He is trying to do things that are linking him, or that are likening him to Unai Emery. And then there is a fan base that is very Arteta protective and Arteta for Arteta. But at the end of the day, they need to realize that criticism will always be a football fan's right, and Arsenal fans will criticize, especially if they see nonsensical football being played. And Arteta will get some of the stick, but the players will get a lot more.
Yeah. Steve says our results in October were completely predictable. We need to pick things up in November, or we could be in real trouble. Listen, I think we need to pick things up sooner than that, to be honest. You know, that United game is a must-win. Let's be honest. And I know there's a long way to go in the season, but we need to start changing this form, and Arteta needs to do something. Listen, you know, he needs to try and get a tune out of the players he's got. He needs to try and get this creativity issue sorted. And we've got players who can do a job, but he needs to put them in the right positions and not keep getting it wrong. I'll tell you something now. I'm looking forward to having Martinelli back in the team, because he will give us some flair that we've been missing, and he will work hard. But again, like you alluded to it earlier, Arteta seems to drop people who've been performing well, and again, that question mark has to be asked. Why are you going to do that? So, players who've been playing well won't necessarily get into the team the next week. And listen,
he did that with Martinelli last season.
Yeah, that's what I'm alluding to.
And one more thing, I get the feeling we will beat United, and it will be deja vu. If you remember, Emery had games against Chelsea and Manchester City in his first season. We beat Manchester United, and then we went on a 22-game unbeaten run. I am not saying that we will go on a unbeaten game run, but I think we will produce a result against Manchester United, because they are in more deep shit than we are.
No, I don't think so. Listen, they've got players who can hurt us. I'm not so sure. Unless Arteta can get some tune out of these players. Omar, listen, I don't think Emery is better than Arteta. I think the problem that I just think Emery got all his tactics wrong as well. Let's be honest here. He got a lot of his tactics wrong.
The players did play for him. The players never played for him. That is a problem.
Yeah. And the players are doing the same to Arteta. And this is why I keep saying, this is why I'm not jumping on that bandwagon of the manager needs to change, because, and I put it on a comment on an Arsenal Facebook group earlier. I said, you know what, you can't keep changing the manager and expecting things to change with this group of players. The only one good thing, and let's be honest here, that at the end of this season, I know it's another season away, and I know we shouldn't really be looking like that. But the one good thing about the end of this season, 99% of this squad is going to be leaving anyway, because all their contracts are up. So, that's the one thing that's going to be interesting. The other interesting thing is who we get in to replace all that in June, and the recruitment then has got to be on point. And listen, I'm not gonna knock Arteta's recruitment so far, because he has done well, in terms of buying Gabriel, buying Partey. Listen, I do think those two over the coming seasons will be decent. Obviously Pablo Mari's injured. Cedric, I'm not convinced by. He had that one good game when he first come, and then since then he's kind of struggled. Obviously David Luiz, you're hoping that his contract's not going to get renewed next season. But yeah, so I'm not going to knock Arteta's recruitment. I mean, I'd like to have got that OR deal over the line. We really could have done that. Again, that's not really an Arteta issue. That's the board issue, not spending the money. So I'm not going to knock his recruitment, because the recruitment comes down to the people above him. And yes, the Cronkies gave him the money for Partey, and again, we have to credit him with that. But why not go ahead and give him the money for OR as well, just to go up and pay that money? But I also think as well, the reason why we didn't get OR is because I don't genuinely believe OR wanted to come as much as Partey did, like this season. Even if we'd have met that offer, I don't think that OR wanted to come, and that's just my honest opinion. See, we could have got creativity as well. Listen. There was plenty other options.
Benrahma. I was just going to mention
Coutinho.
Benrahma.
Yeah.
These guys didn't go for Ben Rama, who went to loan on West Ham on loan.
And you know what? Everybody, before Everton got Rodriguez, everybody was like, "Oh, he's finished. He's finished." Well, he ain't finished. You look at his performances; he is not finished. That guy still can do a job. Listen, I know yesterday he kind of massively underperformed. Listen, the whole Everton team underperformed yesterday, but he can do a job. He's seen that he's running that Everton midfield. Him and Decore is running that midfield.
We should have had both of them at Arsenal.
Yeah, I would have taken Decore. Decore's an underrated. He's so underrated in my opinion. So underrated.
I would have taken Dakure and Ben Rama. Quietly, they should have gotten those two guys when they failed to sign OR. But no. That is Arsenal for you.
Yeah, I agree with you. Do you know, I agree with you, Steve. He said Martinelli is the Lacazette replacement. And then what would you do though? Would you put Martinelli down the middle? Or would you put Aubameyang down the centre and Martinelli out on the left? Yeah. Are you there, Nitesh?
Yeah, sure. I was thinking you were going to say something more, or Martinelli. See, the thing is, I don't think I think now that Aubameyang has extended his contract, if he doesn't improve his performances this season, I think fans may consider, or the club may consider, that if we are able to offload him, there may be a possibility that we may actually sell him. I get the feeling there could be a possibility there as well. The same thing goes for Willian. But with respect to Aubameyang, he still has time, because for some reason he has the Ozil syndrome right now. I do not understand what is the reason for that. He's doing exactly what Mesut Ozil did. As soon as Mesut Ozil signed that 350k a week contract, gone, disappeared, invisible. That is what is happening with Aubameyang. I am still saying he's a bit saturated. He needs some time to be rested, in the sense not start all games, because the opposition is targeting him. 2 or 3 defenders are put on him in every game. So if he comes on into the game when the opposition defense is a bit tired, they have been running for around 50-60 minutes, he can then use his pace, which he's already losing, to produce some good goals. But if he's expected to create chances and he's expected to run from the start, he doesn't have the 90 minutes in him left in him at all. If you saw yesterday, there was a moment when Aubameyang got the ball in midfield in the second half to create and run for a counter. He ran 5 or 6 steps and just lost the ball, which was a clear symbol that his legs gave in, and it was a clear showing of the fact that Aubameyang is now old. He doesn't have those legs. He can't carry the ball and counter. He doesn't have the creativity. He doesn't have the ball control anymore. All he can do is he can get the ball in the box. He can just quickly take a quick finish, a good, brilliant finish, and goal. That is all he can do. He does not have the running capability. In contrast to that, that is why I said that I feel Lacazette had one of the best games yesterday. Best games in the sense he was the best forward out of the 3, Saka and Aubameyang, because everything was built around Lacazette yesterday. Overall, the creativity was so bad in the final third, but the involvement-wise, holding the ball, passing the ball to another player, controlling the you can say the creativity a bit there was more from Lacazette than it was from Aubameyang, definitely. And Saka tried to dribble a bit here and there, but eventually there was no end product. Unfortunately, we don't have players who take good set pieces. We don't have an Alexander Arnold. We don't have, you can say, maybe we don't have an Alexis Sanchez anymore who can score goals from these set pieces. Otherwise, Lacazette would be drawing fouls on him all day long. He got a couple of players from Leicester booked as well yesterday, including Forfana and 1 or 2 more players. Those guys got booked because they fouled Lacazette. So Lacazette can keep drawing those fouls. Even if we do not get a creative midfielder right now, we should at least get a set piece specialist in January. We have Gabriel, we have Saliba in the bank. He's like, we have him on the bench. We have David Luiz. We have you can say another defender. I don't remember the guy in the squad in the youth team who scored a great goal in preseason. We have good heading capability. We have Rob Holding, who's also a good header of the ball. We need a good player who can create good set piece opportunities or take good free kicks. We need one such player, and then see. Lacazette will go down, he will draw fouls and get good free kicks in good positions. Then it is up to the guy who's creating the set piece to finish those off. We need to have such plans, such tactics, how we can get more and more goals. We got Willian. If Willian is fit, he will be he will be apt for free kicks and penalty kicks as well. So Willian needs to be there. Apart from that, we need to get one more set piece expert, and then Arteta needs to tell Lacazette, you need to be drawing fouls in dangerous areas, and then the team will do the rest. That is one tactic that can also work for us.
Yeah. Yeah. It's certainly interesting, and Arteta's got to do something. He really has. He has got to do something. Listen, we've been going for over an hour now. So what we'll do is we'll probably wrap up here. Yeah, Nitesh, just tell everybody where they can find you.
Guys, you can't find me at the Emirates because no one is going at the Emirates. And even if people were going at the Emirates, I don't think we would want to see such shitty performances like yesterday at the Emirates, at least. But yes, you can find me on Beyond the Post on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. And on Twitter, it's going good. We are around 1,300, 1,200 something followers now. So do follow me on Twitter, and you can find me on Arsenal FC Fans on Facebook. Hopefully the page reach ban is done, sorted out soon, which is going on for months now. So let's see what happens there. If with respect to YouTube, I am back now, so I'll be making more regular stuff. Even though my throat is not 100%, but it is 90%, it is back. So I can still put in a better performance than the Arsenal squad from yesterday.
Yeah, and do go check out Nitesh's channels and pages, guys. So, guys, I'm going to be back on Wednesday for the preview of a Europa League game. And then, obviously, there's going to be a watch-along on Thursday for that. Thankfully, it's not that stupid kickoff time at 5:55 or 5:56, which is absolutely bizarre. But yeah, so that's what's coming up in the next couple of days. Listen, guys, do keep subscribing. Do keep hitting the like button. Keep hitting the share button, pushing to next target, which is 1,500 subscribers. So yeah, I'm trying to push for that target. So anybody who's not subscribed, please do hit the subscribe button. I'll be back on Wednesday. Nitesh, thank you very much for joining. It's been a great show as always. Always fun and interesting to hear your views on the current situation at Arsenal and to chew the fat over what was a poor result. And yeah, until Wednesday, guys, take care of yourselves and enjoy the rest of your evening. Come on, you Gunners.
Big up the Arsenal.